Hey there, welcome back to Turntable Guy. On the bench today, we have a brand we have not yet done on this YouTube channel. It is an NAD. It is a 5040, a 5040. It's a belt drive, semi-automatic turntable, and kind of cool. It's an older model. It's got the new acoustic dimension cursive logo on it, which is kind of neat. NAD's recently brought out one of their it's not like their original, but it's very similar to one of their, I think it was late 70s, early 80 amplifiers. I think it's a 3050, and you can get a new version of that with a completely digital amplifier now. And it has the old new acoustic dimension cursive logo on it, which is kind of cool. But anyway, that's another story. This is about a turntable, and this is a very nice turntable, actually. My understanding is that these were manufactured by the British company, is it pronounced Garrard or Gerard? NAD never has made their own turntables. They've always subbed it out to another company, be it Garrard, Riga, or I believe, oh, the name slips my mind right now. There's another company that they sub it out to. Project. So you'll have an NAD turntable, but it's 100% manufactured by someone else. So I've already taken this one outside and I've shot it with the air compressor because it was ridiculously dusty, and it's still very dirty. This one, what the guy said, this is one of those stories where, you know, a friend drops off a turntable from a friend and tells you a story about it. I guess the kids got their hands on this one and mangled something. That's the story I have. There's absolutely no needle on this cartridge. And it is a removable head shell, which is nice to see. Shouldn't do that. Stay. I think this is an ADC cartridge, but it's actually separating. The coils are separating from the back of it. So this is junk, right? This complete junk. And what it comes down to is I told the guy, I said, listen, let me have a look at the table, see if I can get it back into an operational state, and then we'll worry about putting a cartridge on it. We're going to order something, you know, off Amazon, spend $50 for like an AT VM95C or something like that, or even an AT was it 3600L, which you can still get on like AliExpress and places like that for less than $20, which is a great bargain, by the way. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a quick look. We're going to see if it's actually worth repairing, what condition it's in, and then we'll go from there. And you've probably seen me push down this. This is interesting. The whole plinth is supported by the feet, which are actually very tall. Let's see if I can tilt this forward a little bit. They're really tall feet, and they are spring-loaded, which is kind of cool, kind of original, and they can be adjusted for height as well. All right, so I guess we should begin and have a look and see what we're dealing with here. Now, I think it is spinning. Boy, that arm lock is not working. Luckily, there's no needle on there. Okay, so put it on 33. Yeah, so it is spinning. And it is auto returning, so that's good. And it does have a pitch control, which is a little bit flaky. Sorry, I've got my hand over the strobe because the overhead lights kind of wash out the strobe effect. That's not bad. It's holding speed pretty good. So that's good. So we know mechanically, you know, it's running. So, you know, whatever these kids did, they probably messed around with the weight. You know, kids get a hold of a tone arm and they end up screwing up the weight. And hopefully they haven't, you know, dragged your needle across the platter. I can hear the anti-skate spring engaged, so that's working. So I think we've got a functioning turntable here. Let's take it apart and give it a service. And then as far as doing a sound test, it's not going to happen, unfortunately. We just don't have a cartridge, and I can't put a standard head shell on here, like this is very annoying, a S tone arm head shell, because they are different. As you can see here, this is for an S-shaped tone arm, and this is for a straight arm. And you can see how the tone arm, or the head shell, is angled on the straight arm, and it's straight on the S arm. So if we were to put this in here, all right, well, it will screw on, but you're going to have horrible alignment. If you look, see, you do not want your needle tracking like this, right? That would be bad. Like the grooves go like this, and look where the needle's pointing, right? So that's bad. But I mean, I can put this on here just to test to see that we actually get sound. I'll do that when we're done our service. Just run my finger. I know that really bugs a lot of people when I run my finger on a stylus, because I'm destroying it supposedly. But that's how I test if I've got sound or hum. And no, I'm not destroying the stylus, and I'm not touching it with any kind of force. All right, so I mentioned it was a belt drive. You can see the belt just down there. It looks a little loose. Might be a candidate for boiling. As you can see, it's fallen down. And if my memory serves me right, I have serviced these in the past. I've just never actually filmed one of these. And it might have been before I started my YouTube channel here. I believe that the spindle is not part of the, yes, it's not part of the platter, which is very different. There's the auto return engagement gear. And here's our belt. Let's put that aside for now. There's our motor, and here's our main spindle. Like I said, it's in a bearing just like any other spindle, but it's just it's a little different in the fact that it doesn't have the platter attached to it. So we don't have a dust cover here, so I'm going to have to be very careful when I turn this over. I'm going to have to put something underneath to support the arm, probably a block of wood or something. So I'm just going to get this flipped over, get it set up, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're flipped over. I've got a little piece of 2x4 supporting this side of the turntable so that the tone arm's not touching the workbench. And I've removed 4 screws to take off the plastic bottom here. It's horribly dusty. And here's our interior. Pretty standard fare stuff. Power transformer. Looks like a power supply here. Here's our spindle bearing. Looks like it's accessible only from the top. Micro switch. Motor control board right here. 2 speed adjustment pots here. 1978. There you go. So this is older than even I thought. Wow, 19th of October, 1978. We have 1, 2, 3 caps on here. Looks like they're Matsushita caps. I'm going to check for leaking electrolyte on those. Here's our RCA cables that come in here. Main junction board, tone arm wires. Pretty simple stuff. Here's I believe our speed control. And that's our cut switch. And our 3345 switch here. So we'll clean this this pitch control pot first. And lots of dust bunnies. Good heavens. Let's zoom in just a bit. This thing's rather large. It's taking up quite a big chunk of my workbench here. So we're just going to give this pitch control a shot of cleaner. Just like that. And you want to lift it up. Try not to knock down the 2x4. Just work that back and forth and get the cleaner activated. Okay, that's good. And I am going to spray this speed switch as well, which is right here. There's just a few slots that we can get some cleaner in, and then work that back and forth. So I'm just going to go in the open slots here. really kind of gross. Okay. So what I want to do is continue to protect the tone arm, and I want to check this motor board here. Now it is right there. Right here. Here's our board. I just want to check the caps on here. Make sure they're not leaking. What do we got here? We have a 0.22 at 50. A 0.1 at 50. And a 0.47 at 50. There's no leakage, no bulging. So they're okay. We also have a large filter cap here, 1000 at 25, an axial cap. All right. Let's go about lubricating our spindle. All right, so I'm gonna guess and there's a screw underneath here that I didn't see. Screw right here on the side. Sorry if you can't see that. It's a slotted. Actually in a really bad spot. Really hard to get a screwdriver in there. Oy. Let's see if we can just remove it by loosening. Yeah, that's good. I have to take it all the way. There we go. Oh my God, it's totally dry. There's nothing on here. Completely dry. Wow. Not good. There's a ball bearing down there too. Come on. It's not magnetic. Ooh, that's a big boy. There you go. That's a big ball bearing. That aside. Whoops, sorry. So, you know the drill. We're going to clean out that bearing well. And just to give you an idea, there's nothing in there. Just the remnants of oil. It's a very deep well. Very dirty. filthy in there. Give it a double cleaning here. It's getting better. Okay, that's good. And we'll also give our spindle / axle a cleaning, even though there is no grease on there whatsoever. I want to make sure it's clean. Just a little bit of alcohol on a paper towel. Here, while we're at it, let's clean the ball bearing. And we'll clean off our axle here. Look at that, no oil, just dirt. Well, this thing was very dirty when I got it, so it's obviously been stored in a very dirty location. Not good. Okay, that's much better. We'll use an SAE 30 for this one, a non-detergent oil. Drop our ball bearing in. Put a few drops here. And lower it back down. There we go. We've already got a little bit of hydraulic pressure pushing it back, and it feels a million times better already. If you hold it, that little hole where the screw is, it actually helps if you remove it because it helps to relieve the pressure. So I'm just going to unscrew it. See how it dropped down immediately? Okay, I'm going to put it back. Just taking it by hand for now. Actually, use a tiny screwdriver because you cannot get a big one in here. Really bad spot for it. There. Okay. So now this is one of the times where you don't want any oil in this part of it because you want there to be friction between the platter and the spindle here. Oh yeah, look at that, eh? That's nice. That's properly lubricated. Less stress on the motor, less stress on everything. Good. Okay. As far as the motor is concerned, we're just going to give it a drop on the top bearing. It feels horribly dry as well. Just get your favorite light machine oil, and this is in a bad spot too, and you just want to put a drop or two at the top bearing of the motor. Okay, just get it underneath and on the shaft, and that'll sink down. And if you want to test that, just plug it in and move your arm over. good torque. It's quiet. I mean, you're looking at a turntable that's been neglected here. It's in decent shape, but there's a lot of years of neglect here. Okay, now we're going to leave it plugged in because we're going to clean the pulley. Same thing, a little bit of alcohol, and we're going to do it while the motor's spinning on 45, so we get lots of speed. So what you want to do is just get your pulley cleaned with the alcohol here while it's spinning. Just a Q-tip dipped in alcohol, back and forth. Get rid of any of the belt goo and dirt and all that kind of stuff. As you can see, hopefully you can see, my Q-tip is turning a light shade of brown gray. So it is dirty. You can see that there. And now with the other side, the dry side, just wipe off any excess and give it a light polish. And that's it. Same thing with our platter. You're going to want to clean where the belt rides. Excuse my head. So just grab a paper towel. Let me zoom this out a little bit here. Grab a paper towel soaked in a little bit of alcohol and just clean. What you're trying to get rid of is this crap. You can see that on there. And if it's really nasty, take it to the sink with your favorite degreaser and a Scotch-Brite pad and scrub it down. Now if it's just stained from the belt, that's fine. But when there's actual belt goo on there, like if a belt has died actually on the platter, then you're definitely going to want to get that off. But just look at that, just from rubbing, right? So this one requires a second treatment. You want your belt path to be as clean as possible because you want the most amount of friction between belt, motor, and platter. Right? You don't want it slipping. If it slips, then you're going to get speed issues. Wow, this is really dirty. Okay, better. And finally, we're going to clean our belt. And I believe I'm going to take this belt upstairs and I'm going to put it in the microwave for a few minutes just to restore it a little bit. We'll clean it with alcohol first just to get off any dirt and grease. It's still very elastic and it's in good shape. But as you can see, you're almost going to pull off some dirt and grease. Okay, so I'm going to go put this upstairs in the microwave. I'm going to boil it for 5 minutes. And then we'll be back. We'll get it back on here and we'll finish up. Okay, our belt is back from being boiled and dried. We're going to see how it fits around our platter now. It was a little bit loose when I first pulled it out. Let's see if it's any better. A little bit. It tends to shrink just a little bit in the microwave oven, right? But it's still elastic. It's nice and clean. You'll see that there's, obviously there's two sides to every belt. And you'll see where the belt sat for most of its life, and you'll usually see some signs of the pulley. And this one looks equal on both sides. I'd say this is probably a little bit more worn on this side. So we'll put it like this. Okay. To get our belt on, just hold it while you're dropping this down. And just wrap it around your motor. And that's pretty good. It's a touch loose, but to save some money here for the guy, we'll just go with this belt, and it should spin fine. Let's just see here. It holds 33 just fine. It gets up to speed for 45 and holds 45 just fine. So we're good. Oops. There's our cut. So the table's functioning, which is good to see. All right, so we're going to test for sound. I'm not going to put the bass back on at this point because I just want to get this this video shot and done with here, just to get the general maintenance done on this. I'll put the bass back on when I'm done. So we're going to just test for hum. I'm just going to put my Audio Technica. Oh, this is annoying, eh? When you got black and gray. What's what? On some duals, it's black and white is usually left. So is black red here, or is it gray? Is gray right? Okay, I'm going to go with gray being red and black being white and or black. Let's do that. This does have a separate ground. That ground hook on there already. It's nice. So we're just going to check to see if the cartridge, well, actually, you know, it shouldn't hum with this cartridge, but there's no stylus, so I'm not sure. No hum. That's good. Let me just put mine on. Make sure we got sound in both channels. Okay. Turn the volume up. Yeah, we got sound in both channels. And we got no hum. So this old NAD is working fine. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do a sound test because I don't have a needle. This is a pain. This stupid arm clamp. I'm going to look into that when I'm done here. So, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do a sound test because, like I mentioned, this has no stylus. So, that's where we're going to have to end this one. Arm setup is just like any other turntable. Get your big weight back here. Set it up for whatever your cartridge manufacturer recommends. Set your anti-skating to the same amount. And hopefully you're going to get good quality sound. I think you will. I think this is a really nice turntable. Nicely built. Yeah, it is kind of plasticky, but you can tell there was care put into the manufacture of this. And NAD wouldn't put their name on a piece of crap, right? So nice table. I kind of like this one. The NAD 5040 semi-automatic turntable. We have restored the spindle, done some service on the motor, worked on the belt a little bit, checked our capacitors on the motor board, which looked fine. It's holding speed correctly, so they are functioning well. And that's going to do it. Thanks for tuning in again. We'll catch you next video. Bye-bye.